let's start. And on behalf of Create Up Championship team, we welcome everyone who joined us today to this wonderful session that is called Pitch and Feedback. My name is Carmen Mateos, and I will be here to answer any question that you have on the chat regarding the competition. But I will emphasize that today is about pitching and feedback. So please take advantage that we have Tim and Robert with us. So if you have any question regarding the pitch, please, today is the moment that you can ask those questions. So welcome all of you, all the new participants and all the ones that were already with us for a long time. So welcome to today's session. Before we kick off this session, I would love to walk a little bit through the competition. So for those who join us the first time, the Create App Championship is an initiative from the Create Apps Dubai Chamber of Digital in Dubai. This is the third edition. It's a global competition under the Create Apps in Dubai. It was launched by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the program is designed to advance digital innovation and position Dubai as a leading global hub for mobile app development. So if you go next, team, please. Over the last two editions, we received more than 5,800 applications from 132 countries. So this is not a local competition. Anyone around the world who has an interest in Dubai can apply as a participant, as an individual, or also as a part of a team. So last year, we helped develop over 340 prototypes. So if you are looking to set up a business in Dubai, or you already have a company and you're looking into digitalizing further, you can apply. So anyone that have a cool idea for mobile application, that thing that will work well in Dubai, you can submit your application. So if you are choosing one of the four winners, you will receive an investment of $150,000. So there are four categories, and I will not go into much detail. I will be happy to share the link on the chat later, as everything is mentioned on the website. But we have four categories: the youth category, the most innovative, most impactful, and in the industry of the year. This year is longevity. So go next, team, please. So here you have the QR code. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, it's a channel that we have for notification and updates about the competition. So everybody that is new, please feel free to join. And yes, before we start, just a couple of things. So please enjoy the session. Take advantage that we have Tim and Robert here that are two experts on business model as well as speech. So they are the one who will provide feedback on your pitch. So take advantage and ask the questions related to the topic of today. If you have any question regarding the competition, I will try to answer, but please, tomorrow we have a special session for Q&A. This is our weekly check-in calls with participants. It's Thursdays at 3 p.m. Dubai time. I will share the link on the chat. So I'm looking forward to see you all. If you have any question regarding the competition, tomorrow is the day. So please join us, and that's it. Without any further delay, I want to give the mic to Tim and Robert. So the floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Carmen. And welcome to everybody again from my side and from Robert's side. We've been working a lot together, Robert and me, in all kinds of projects in the innovation space, and especially also in the design thinking space, where storytelling and pitching are always key elements. So looking very much forward to listen to some of your stories. And I'll go through some introductory slides and reiterate some stuff and tell you sort of the procedure that we'll follow to give as much as possible people the opportunity to share their pitch. So just to reiterate a little bit of a few house rules, microphone handy on mute. For the pitching, today we will not do the sharing of slides that you already might have. We want you to pitch using sharing yourself in your camera. We'll use the Mentimeter also later to give the audience some possibilities to also share some feedback on your pitches. So have your mobile phone ready. Questions, please use the chat for questions. And we'll, of course, have a 5-minute break sort of around the hour. Today we've gone through a long process already, and I think many of you have been here to follow the process and to have some guidance there. Today is really an intermediate sort of session for you to for some of you to dry run their pitches, and also next week there is an additional specific pitch session as well. So plenty of moments to learn and to get updated. And of course, just to reiterate what needs to be handed in to actually join the competition is 2 things. It's information that you would already have collected in your app business canvas, and it's a lo-fi prototype and your story in one video. And the video can be, 1-2 minutes sort of a demo, and the remaining time of the 5 minutes to go through the slides. And I will share, of course, the structure of the story a bit later. But for people that have been here for quite some time, they should be able to sort of, without thinking, come up with that order. And if you look at the business canvas, the app business canvas, you can, of course, hand that in by completing the questions, and the questions will be based on the app business canvas on the submission page. So 2 things: submission page for your app business canvas, and a video including your story and a little demo. Okay, and of course here we have the pitch canvas, and briefly go through. Of course, start with team introductions. You can also do your team introductions at a later moment if more convenient for you. Don't worry about that. It's important that the order is sort of like this for the rest of the story, because that's what the story is about. The challenge, other solutions available in the market, and of course your solutions and how it differentiates from the others, of course, main benefits. And then talking about the market you think you can address, so total market and obtainable market. You might have seen and been in the session where we talked about that. And of course, the current status, and the next steps that you want to take. And then the ask, it's very important to end with a very explicit ask. And of course, just to give you a heads up, you ask the jury to vote for you, because etc., because your app is having big impact, of course. So make sure that there's a clear ending of your pitch. What you can do also is to use the guide for the pitch deck to structure your slides. Very convenient to use, and you can check the pitch deck by following the link. Also, to reiterate, and this has been shared with you also before, if you want to build your pitch, start small and build it up gradually. Think about the audience first, and the audience, of course, are the judges that will judge your pitch and your story. First, start writing for each part of the canvas, maybe 1 sentence, and then start dry running your pitch and enriching these sentences so that you also are sort of sure that you're in time, because that's also very critical. Also today we'll be a bit strict in time. We'll give you the opportunity, and I'll tell you a bit about later, to give you a 3-minute time slot for pitch, and we'll be quite strict, because also in your video you have to be quite strict in the timing. And practice, very important. Talking about practice, how we will run this session. We have randomly assigned people from the group that's now into the in Zoom call, randomly assigned people to do the pitch. Of course, if you are not amongst the random chosen people that can practice the pitch here, please use the mentoring sessions to run your pitch as well, and to have a one-on-one chat with one of the mentors about your pitch. So there are plenty of opportunities to pitch your story and to dry run. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to prototype also your pitch to make it really good. So for today, what we'll do is you'll be contacted through the chat if we have picked your name randomly from the list of participants, and so that you can sort of prepare and know that you'll be the first one or the second one or the next one to be able to do a pitch. I will call out the name as well if you might have missed the chat, to make sure that that you're aware that you can do the pitch. And you get 3 minutes to do your pitch. And as I said, we'll try to be a bit strict also to make you understand that if you get 3 minutes also in your video, you have to be sharp and crisp. And if it's a lot longer, then often it sort of fades away in vague stories. So you have to be very crystal clear. Then we'll have a few questions using Menti, as I said, for the audience to give feedback using a few questions on your pitch. And then Robert and me will give you some feedback as well. And all in all, it will be around 8 minutes. So we'll have a transition to the next pitcher with the same procedure. You will be approached through chat, and I will call out your name, and you can do your pitch, same thing. And after, I think, around 4 pitches, we might do a little break, depending how we're doing. So that's in the second hour, we can also do quite some pitches. So 3 minutes pitch, 2 minutes through Mentimeter, and the audience the other participants can give some feedback based upon some questions, and then Robert and me will help you with some questions. The feedback that Robert and me will provide will have this sort of structure. So we'll have a look at presentation style, so appearance, articulation, and speed, which is of course key when you do your pitch. And we will have some feedback on the structure, and then elements that are important, of course, is the challenge that you are solving. So the problem that you help to solve, and the people that you help, your solution, and maybe how it links to other competing solutions, the main benefits of your solution. So why does it stand out? The market size is of course very important for people to understand how promising and how impactful your solution might be. And the next step, and to emphasize here, your next step is that you ask the judge to vote for, and then because your solution of course has a lot of impact, but these should be then your own words. Okay, I think this could be clear. So asking you whether you're ready. And of course, it's a bit of a rhetoric question because everybody is ready, of course. No worries about that. So let's go to Menti. I'll stop sharing so that you can get into Mentimeter and scan the QR code. And if you have the QR code, you can ask or wait for the presenter to come up with the next slide in Menti, and then we'll start. We have, of course, our first one that will be, and I'm just checking here. This one, okay. It's Kritika Gupta Nagar, and I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name.
Hi, Tim.
Sorry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You got that right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Amazing. Nice to see you and to meet you. And well, when you are ready, you see in your screen also the timing, so that you can also make sure that the time is right. And so if you are ready, we'll start the clock and then you can get going.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Hi, I'm Kritika, and today I'm going to be talking about my idea for the Create App Championship Dubai. But before I talk about that, Can we start by talking about an unspoken chore that we all face as adults? Deciding what to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. And if you have kids, triple that chore. We all want to eat healthy, and we scroll and scour the internet and save nice recipes on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But when you're sitting and planning your next meal, you're unable to find them. Laziz helps you store all your recipes in one place and categorizes them by meals and cuisines. You can even add your own recipes by clicking your photo of your meal and getting an editable recipe generated on the app, which can be stored directly on the app. With Laziz, you can plan your meals for the day or for the week easily on a calendar, and it takes all the guessing out of eating. You can try Laziz free for 14 days, after which you can choose a monthly or a yearly subscription plan. Laziz offers a wide range of features on top of the core features of recipe storing and meal planning. The features include family sharing, cart building, fridge and pantry management, calorie tracking options, all at the tip of your fingertips. So let's get our next meal planned on Laziz app. That's my pitch.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you very much for sharing your beautiful story. So
Great.
next thing that we'll do is first have some feedback from your colleagues in
Great.
the call with some questions. So first question would be, is it clear for you as participants also in this call who this app is for and what need does it address? So please share who you think this app is for and what need it addresses.
So this app is for all individuals, men, women,
sorry.
all living busy lives in cities.
The participants, it's a question for the participants, so they can share with you. So you can use the feedback to maybe see whether, you know, it's not clear enough what the need is and who the app is for. So don't worry.
Got it.
You can, it's all feedback for you. All individuals above 18, health conscious people. So is there more feedback? The participant asking app. Yes, health conscious people. Everyone, especially families. Participant asking, health conscious, participant asking. So what is the need? Can somebody articulate if they understood the need? What is the need? What's the problem that these people have? The challenge that they have? Busy people at work, yeah. I didn't hear that explicitly in the story, but that's a good one, yeah. And what kind of need? What's the problem that is faced? Any clarity on that? I see also in the chat have their recipes in one place, so that's a need. So the problem now is that the recipes are all over the place. Then they have it. What's the difference? That's, I think, also an interesting remark. So maybe what's the difference compared to other apps around food and health? Okay, thank you very much for your input. And next question. Why or why not was this pitch engaging to you? So how did you feel about the story and how engaged were you to listen to the story? Did you get picked up by the start of the session? Does not have a storyline. Enthusiastic presenter. Relatable. Nice. And it would, of course, be interesting to maybe have one addition to does not have a storyline. What, maybe name one thing that you're looking for. And this is all helpful feedback, of course. So it's all to make your story better. Don't take it too personal. Any more passionate participant? Yes, that's what I also was thinking. Any more about the engagement? Why users use the app was very clear, according to one of the participants, was fluent for sure. Yeah, that's what I also thought. Okay, thank you very much. And also, because we try to be in time, we have a third question. Okay. So thank you very much all for your feedback. Robert.
Okay.
Would there be something?
I thought it was can you hear me, Tim? It was a wonderful presentation, Kritika. I think you come across really, as someone said, relatable, professional. You've understood your customer, and you've realized that people want to remain healthy, right? So they, as someone said, they're busy people. I think you said that too. And so the key thing here is just to make sure that you're saying it's for everyone. And so what actually is the size of your market? I think the judges will be looking for a good understanding of that. Who is your actual target market, and how are you going to find them? So what channels are you going to use to find them? I think you need to think about that, make that come clear.
Yes.
And then also, if you're looking at for some next steps, I think it's important that you explain what the next steps in your development process is. Obviously, you'll spend some time in your pitch showing the app, all of this stuff in one place,
Yes.
as you said. But I think it's important that you're able to explain what you're going to need the money for. So if you get a vote, please can we vote for me, because we're going to keep people having healthy lives. So think about some sort of a catchy phrase that will help them remember your app, remember who you are, and remember what the app does, the problem it solves. From the questions that Tim asked earlier, that didn't come across so clear. And exactly your target market in your first, 6 months. How many people do you target? How many people do you want to bring on board? And how are you going to deal with handling the operational elements behind taking your app into the market?
Okay.
Tim, anything else?
Yeah, well, I was also thinking there might be a lot of competition for these kind of apps. So you might dive a little bit deeper into one sort of opportunity space, if I can call it like that. So maybe one group of people that are looking for very specific, maybe recipes. So to also distinguish yourself from other apps that are around that can help people develop or creating their meals. But yeah, very nice story, and your appearance. I like your appearance a lot. So keep up the good work, I would say, and practice.
Yes. Thank you so much for the feedback, everyone, and Tim and Robert. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And
well done for being the first one.
Exactly.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much. And in the meantime, we have a new participant, Hatem Alshinawai, and maybe my pronunciation of especially the surname was not up to speed. But Hatem, are you there?
Hatem Alshinawi, yeah, Hatem Alshinawi. That's my name.
Wonderful.
That's right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Can you share yourself? Can you pop up your camera?
It's already working. I think.
I see a black screen in your camera, but maybe that's me.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see your appearance.
It's already working.
I think his camera may not be working, but go ahead anyway, Hatem.
Let's immediately start.
Okay. My idea. I have two ideas, not only one. I'll talk now about one of them. It's the WEC. It's the WEC. It's a program for. You can say it's B2B application will be B2B mainly, not B2C, because I will work with the pharma companies. Now in every back of pills you will find the leaflet, printed leaflet. My idea is simply that we will replace this leaflet with a QR code on the back itself, and we will gather all the leaflets of all the medicines in Dubai. My research was in Egypt at first, but in Dubai we will have a deal with all the companies, the medicine companies, and to put this QR code, and the application will gather all the medicine leaflets in one place, and it also will be with a voice. You can hear it with a voice for the blind people, and like this, and also you can in the next stage is this application will save us from printing. It will reduce the cost for the medicine companies for about 80%. We will need no paper to import more paper for this printing. It will solve a lot of problems for the companies and also for the patient. He can also, if in the pharmacy he will take another brand, he can compare the two brands. What's the difference between this and this, like Panadol and Adol on these things. You can see the difference between these two names you have. So that's the main idea, and I have, of course, a good research about the numbers. It's all in Egypt. Yeah, in Egypt, like in Egypt, we have about 12,000 brands or medicines, and we are printing about 6 billion medicine leaflet every year. So I'm reducing this to 0 and reducing the money about 80% for the companies. And it will be a win-win situation for me, for the company, for the application, for the companies, and also for the government.
Okay.
Because you can deal with all the things in one place.
Wonderful. Hatem, thank you very much for your story. Time is up. Let's get some feedback from the participants in the call. First question: what did the pitch successfully communicate about the target user and the problem they face? So what's the target user? And to be honest, I have the same question that I will talk to you about in a minute. Target user and the problem they face. Not clear. Pharma companies, yes, that's one of the important stakeholders here. Patients, yeah. And what's the problem? What's the problem for patients, for example? Did somebody understand? Problem for patients. Problem is not really clear. Target user is patients. Not clear. What do you think the problem is? Is there anybody that can do an assumption on the problem for the target user, of course?
Reduce printing. Yeah, so save on printing costs, paper costs.
Yep.
So for the company, there's obviously that benefit.
Exactly.
But to Tim's point, what does it help solve for the customer? What can we assume for the patient?
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have a chat in a second about that. Thank you very much for your feedback. Then we go to the second question for pitch number 2. What opportunities do you see to expand or refine the solution? So now we help Hatem come up with additional ideas of how you think the solution of Hatem could be improved or more refined to make it better, to help the target user better. Online appointments, that's interesting. Different languages, yes. 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 More ideas, more ideas. Focus in one clear solution. Yeah. Yeah. Any other suggestions? Okay. Expand to other products. Okay. Outside of medicine. Yeah, that could be interesting also. Yeah. I've seen solutions like this for, retailers that send out brochures and they build an app just like this especially for discounts and stuff. Yeah. Alternative medicine. Study bigger markets. Yeah.
Although pharmaceutical is a massive market, as pointed out.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, in Egypt alone, it sounds like it could be a massitive cost saving.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so thank you very much for your input. What came by, Hatem? Thank you very much for your great story.
Thank you.
And what came by about the problem, I want to address that in a second. What is important, I think, that if you talk about the way you present, is that maybe it's good to do some practice on sort of fluency of the pitch, and to make it more fluent, so that it flows better. And for that, just go in front of a mirror. And
I'll rehearse a lot. I'll rehearse a lot. Yeah.
Because it's very important in conveying your message, of course, and you of course understand to that your story flows, and for that you have to practice. For some people, even the practice goes as far as really writing out your story and learning that story by heart. For me personally, that sometimes doesn't work, because then I sort of start stammering on the sentences that I have to say. So I let it flow, usually more natural, but you have to find your way to make it more fluent. And writing out the entire story is always a good idea. So that's, for starters, a good idea. And then you have to practice how to bring your story in a fluent way, and start very enthusiastically and raise your voice when an important point is made, and stuff like that. So that a little bit on your style of presenting. If you then talk about the structure, it is important that you focus on the end user first, that you make very clear who is impacted by this solution. And of course, if the business reduces printing, that is interesting. The solution, however, needs to work for patients, for people buying these medicine or wanting to compare these medicine. So, and always also try to be more explicit in the problem it solves for these patients. So what are they actually trying to do at a certain moment? And why is it now difficult? And for example, I can understand that they try to find the right medicine, and it's, if everything's on paper, it's difficult to compare. So if you put the medicine in an app and you can compare them more easily, that would be a real interesting problem that you solve for these people. But make that very clear in your story. And then, of course, it's indeed, as you said, which was really good. It's good to mention the other sort of impact it has on the business. But the impact it has for the target user has to be very clear, because otherwise the business cannot go into this app space, because it doesn't work. And then also the reduction in cost for printing and distributing is also lost. So make very clear what the target user is benefiting. And of course, at the end of your pitch, what is your ask? So address to the judge what you ask. And of course, you ask them to vote for you, but why exactly? Just summarize the key elements that you think why the judge should vote for you. Maybe Robert, you have some.
We have to move on. I think we have to move on, Tim.
Yep. Okay. The next one that will be on is Lubabalo Mahunga, and I also hope here that I pronounced the name right. So
hi, Tim.
Wonderful, Luba. Very good.
Yes, that's also fine. You can call me Luba.
That's a bit shorter. Thank you very
sir.
much. Can you also open your camera? Is that possible for you, or is that
absolutely?
Wonderful.
I don't know. Can you see me?
Amazing. Yeah, for sure. So if you are ready, If you are ready, then the time starts ticking.
Cool. Let's go. Just want to have my notes. Okay, cool. So, hi everyone. I'm going to be pitching a solution called Pharmanex. So, Pharmanex, turning every independent pharmacy into an Amazon for medicine. South Africa has 3,580 pharmacies, with independent pharmacies representing 68% of the market. But they are losing to chains simply because of systemic barriers that prevent patients from making informed decisions. There's no price transparency, there's no e-prescriptions, and there's also informal deliveries. Busy professionals working long hours often can't reach pharmacies before closing time, forcing them to have delayed essential medication or having to pay high premiums at 24-hour chains. Pharmanex is a pharmacy marketplace where patients can compare real-time prices and get same-day delivery. Pharmacies get an inventory sync, immediate claims, and analytics for $24 a month. How does it currently work for patients right now? So a patient searches for OTC medication on our platform, and then they get to compare prices amongst the pharmacies in their location, and then they choose the cheapest option available on the application itself, and then they pay securely using their card or their medical aid policy through the HealthBridge API, and then they receive same-day bike delivery. How does it work for pharmacies? Pharmacies get a pharmacy portal to manage orders. They get live inventory sync to keep track of stock in real time, and they have an analytical dashboard to give them insight based off their store's performance. South Africa's pharmaceutical market presents a significant opportunity, with independent pharmacies representing the majority, but they are still lacking the necessary tools to actually compete. We're expected to capture over 215 pharmacies throughout a duration of 18 to 24 months in order to get a annual recurring revenue of at least $600,000. Pharmanex generates revenue through multiple streams by creating a sustainable and scalable business model that aligns with stakeholders. We have a delivery fee, we've got a transaction fee, and we've got a SaaS subscription fee. Our GTM is as follows: is to have at least in the first phase, to have at least 3,000 independent pharmacies through direct outreach. And in phase 2, to go national as SAPC eScripts launch. Pharmanex operates in a market dominated by large chains, but no one else gives real-time pharmacy pricing, delivery, and claims all in one platform. Competitors only sell their own stock with limited delivery options. Pharmanex is the only true marketplace connecting patients with multiple independent pharmacies. Let me skip to my ask. We're raising $400 or $600 in order to have a pilot program execution, product development, and also market and user acquisition for our pilot. Thank you.
Woo! That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. I had to skip out a couple of slides, like the team and the other stuff, the guide.
Well done, well done, Luba. Very good.
Thank
you. Good job. Let's get some feedback from peers.
Let's ask feedback from participants. Indeed, Robert. Yes. What part of the pitch helped you understand the user's goal and their barrier? So basically, what's the problem of the user? Where did it appear in the story of Luba? And who is that end user? The comparison with Amas, the introduction. Yeah.
Amazon, with Amazon.
Amazon, of course, yes. Yes, thank you. Okay. So the problem, maybe what was the problem, or what is the problem that is being solved by it's a good test. What is the problem that is being solved for people? Anybody, any problems to be solved? Getting OTC medicine delivered, yeah, that's one thing. Maybe, and there's more, right? I think. But that's that came through in your story, Luba. So that's good. Nice. Getting best price.
Yeah.
Also good. Nice. One more, and then we go to the next question. One more. What is one more thing that Luba's app will solve for people? The convenience for patients, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yes. Nice.
Let's go to the next question. Wonderful, Luba. Good feedback. How well the team explained their competitive edge? So compared to other solutions for this problem in the market, so convenience, compare prices and get stuff delivered at home, get medicine delivered at home. How well does this compete with other solutions that you know? How did Luba explain this? Because of course, in your pitch, this is a key element, what is the competition doing? And how can you distinguish yourself from competition? Maybe there needs to, well thought. So you understood very well. And nice. Finding the best price. Yeah, so that's the interesting feature and element in the app of Luba to distinguish from other competition. Maybe one more. Easy access. Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you very much, all. So maybe Robert, any first thoughts?
Okay, so Luba, really good, very fast. So obviously you were rushing because you had all of the things listed out, and so you had to speed read. But what I liked about it is that you've got something clear on paper that you've written down that you actually can articulate. You started off a little bit too fast, and then I managed to keep up a little bit later on, maybe a bit of nervousness coming through. So when you start and you present your user and your problem, as we saw there from the feedback, it took a while for everyone to get it up and running. So be very clear on a short story that will make it clear. Even if it's like a 30-second story of someone, I need to get some medication. I want to compare pricing. Where do I go? I go to this app, and then and mention the name of your app a lot of times so that it sticks in the mind of the judges. And once that's clear, once you articulated the problem and how what the user will do, then you can go into all of the rest around your business model. But I was really pleased to see that you've thought about the business model, you articulated some of the costs, and you understand the business model behind your app. And I think the judges are going to be looking for that. So you've got this app, you're obviously going to do a demo of it of some kind with some sort of a low fidelity demo. But I loved also the way you ended, connecting patients with pharmacies. So it brings to and matches a market. And as a pharmaceutical owner, that would be something that I think I would value if I owned a pharmacy. And you've got a clear price that you've thought through for your market. You've understood your target market in terms of how many potential pharmacies you have, and that translated into some numbers, some revenue that you were able to clearly articulate. So I thought that was really, really good. Maybe just around the status and the next steps of your solution, maybe you can make that a little bit clearer. If you've got, you'll have more than 3 minutes. So say, this is where we're at. Explain where you're at with it, so that the judges can see, how far are you, and also, one thing that Tim mentioned earlier on that I think is important to think about is give an example. If you can actually talk through, a user that you've spoken to, a pharmacy company, maybe you've got, friends who's got feedback from. So if you can have some sort of a feedback of what the market has said to this app. I heard you say something about when e-scripts come online. So that talks to some sort of legislation that's changing, I think, but that's one side of it. But the other side of it, also just be very clear that you've tested this, that you have had, pharmacies you've spoken to, pharmacy owners. And then obviously as Tim mentioned in the previous example, ultimately the test of this will be, will customers go and look for scripts online? So can you illustrate that this has been tested in some way? Yep. That's my comments. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Using some evidence, so some quotes from the market is very powerful very powerful often.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much,
Very
Tim,
much.
as well.
Thank you very much for sharing, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Great job.
So, next one is Zainab Olaniyan.
Good
And
afternoon.
again, I hope my pronunciation was okay.
That's absolutely perfect. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful to see you, Zainab. And
Thank you.
if you are ready, we are ready. So tell us.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zainab. I am the founder of Digital Souk, which has been shortened to DSOUK. I bring over 13 years experience in technology consultancy and digital transformation, which includes leading complex delivery programs at global firms such as Accenture. My background has equipped me to skills to design and build scale solutions that solve real world problems, especially in markets where digital adoption is still developing. Hence why I have created a traditional AI-led digital platform for traditional markets such as Dragonmart, Nafsouk, or Karama. These are homes to tens and thousands of what we call SME vendors, most who remain currently offline. The Buy SME data shows that over 60% of small vendors lack digital presence, and more than 70% rely primarily on foot traffic and WhatsApp to do business. Meanwhile, UAE e-commerce is expanding rapidly, growing about 23% year on year and reaching over 20 billion dirhams in the past year. But traditional markets have not digitalized at the same pace. Customers struggle to navigate these markets, locate shops, compare prices, or even discover product efficiently. DSOUK solves this problem. The platform brings traditional markets together in one digital space where users can browse and discover products easily, navigate a 2D interactive map of markets such as Dragonmart, find vendors by category or shop location, connect instantly with vendors via WhatsApp, keeping that traditional culture of what we call negotiation and vendor-led approach. For vendors, DSOUK provides a simple digital storefront requiring zero technology skills. This helps vendors gain visibility and compete in a digital-first retail environment. Revenue, DSOUK generates revenue from value-added services such as sponsored ads, where vendors can have sponsored listing, feature categories, placements, professional product photography, services which we can provide, displayed advertising, and premium analytics for external parties, third parties, or allow vendors to market their audience. This ensures vendors and customers can join freely, lowering barriers and supporting SME empowerment. How does DSOUK differentiate itself from the marketplaces like DBizzle or Facebook Market? We're market specific. We have mapped based, category structured, designed for low tech SME adoption, WhatsApp integrated, and culturally aligned. Vendors strategic will be done via consultancy, and please choose me so that we can allow 200 to 300 vendors to join freely and launch the app as soon as possible. Sorry, I kind of rushed there.
Very good. Nicely done, Zainab. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your beautiful story. Okay, let's have some feedback from the audience. So people, what did Zainab, the team, make clear about the problem they are solving? E-commerce. And what can you be maybe a bit more concrete than e-commerce? DSOUK for small businesses, yes. So who is Zainab targeting with this app? Yeah, why? What does I do? Connect? Yeah, connect with vendors. E-commerce, large market, yes. Why does AI do? Yes. SME vendors, small businesses, and who's using the app probably? And what kind of problem is the app then solving for people using the app? And of course, small businesses use the app, but they use the app to connect to their customers. So what kind of problem are they solving for their customers? Local SMEs. Discover products. Yeah, discover traditional products. And probably also products that are locally around in their traditional markets. Nice. Very good. Thank you very much for your feedback. And the next question is, what did the team communicate about the competitive advantage? So how clear was the competitive advantage? And I think I heard Zainab talking about Facebook and eBay and all kinds of other platforms where you can buy stuff. So what is the competitive advantage here? Why would people go and use this app? I think localization, exactly. Yeah, nice. Nice. I think 2D map and negotiation, yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. And it's of course supporting the traditional, going shopping and buying products, which people like, of course. So traditions stay there. Specialized, exactly. That's what I try to say. Yeah, wonderful. Digital store easy access. So for the traditional stores, there's now a digital easy access to find traditional products. Nice. Nice. Anything else?
I think I heard things like photography, advertising, analytics. So this ability to market your product on the marketplace. I guess it's a marketplace. Yeah.
Okay, let's do some conversation also here, Zainab. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I think it was really well performed, and as you said, a bit of a rush in the end, but by practicing it a few more times, I think then it goes very well. I think the speed was also good. Sometimes maybe also, and also with relation to the last pitch, if you do everything in one kind of speed, then at some point, for some participants, it can be, maybe one sort of set of words behind, So if you try to temporize at moments that I think are really important, and maybe speed up in moments that are maybe less important, so that you can create some differentiation in your story, and then especially in the beginning, after you have introduced your team, because that's important, of course. But the most important thing is what you introduce after your team is sort of the challenge that you solve. And if you really take some time to do that, and really, of course, trigger the emotion of, in this case, the judges, because, people are emotional creatures. So if you grab them then they will listen to the rest of the story very carefully. So that's the moment to be very focused on. So if you prepare your pitch, really focus on that start and make sure that people are sort of emotionally attached. And I think you have many competitive advantages in your app that can be very emotionally attaching for people, linking to traditions, thinking about bringing communities together, local stores that keep the tradition going, all these kind of things that people, I think, would feel is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think you touched all the important topics in your pitch. Maybe at the end, make sure that also, like in the beginning, take some time, and also in the end, try not to rush it. In the middle, you can be a bit more speedy maybe, but beginning is key. The beginning is sort of emotional attachment, so that people listen to your story, because these judges will listen to many stories.
Yeah.
Grab them with emotion, and at the end, be very clear on what you ask for. But I think you're in a very good space.
Thank you. Somebody did ask about the AI aspect. Yeah.
Right, and just to add to that, like I like how you started by presenting your background. The judges will look to that, and the only question that came up for me is you presented yourself, and it made me wonder: do you have a team? Like, who are your partners? Have you understood all of the sort of background costs and things like that in terms of keeping this platform alive and running? You ask for 200 to 300 vendors. What's the business model behind keeping those vendors on board, ensuring that they get all of these services. You know, what's the team going to look like for the photography service you provided? What's the team going to look like to be able to produce the analytics? So, but I agree with all of Tim's comments. It sounds like you've thoroughly researched your market. You've understood some key pain points. Start at the beginning, slowly express those pain points in a form of a story, and then get into the nitty gritty. And then, as Tim said, slow down at the end. But yeah, really very good presentation, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate
Good luck. Okay, it's time for a 5-minute break. So we'll be back at 5 minutes past the hour to continue with some other pitches. So thank you very much for now, and see you in 5 minutes.
ينفع إن أنا هل يمكن لي أن أعرض بالعربي؟ I am speak Arabic.
خالد اكتب بالإنجليش وقدم بالإنجليش.
أني أتحدث بالعربية فقط. ممكن حد يترجم لي؟
ما أتوقعش حدا يترجم.
أوكي. الفكرة بتاعتي أصلا في الاستدامة، ويعتبر جاهزة لأرض الواقع، بس كل المشكلة عندي في الإنجليزية بس.
You have a question, Khaled? Okay. It's 5 minutes past the hour. So we would like to start again. Everybody get ready. And again, just to reiterate, we randomly picked some people. And of course, we have more people in the call than we can actually have pitches. So I hope you bear with us that we randomly picked a few, and they will have the possibility to share, and we all can learn from that, I think. So let's go to the next one, which is Mewish Anwar. Mewish, please come forward. If you are back from the break, that would be great. Mewish Anwar.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let me just turn up the video. Sorry, I was not aware it was my turn right now.
No worries. Can you open up your video, or were you just saying that you want to do that?
Yeah, I'm trying, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, you know what? It's glitching on me. So that's how you know it's a real pitch. I think
no worries. No worries. You can still do your story. So is the clock on 3 minutes? Yes. The clock is counting. So you can start, Mewish.
All right, great. I'm Mewish. I've been leading the operations at a local incubator for the last 2 years. My co-founder has also been with me as a program manager. He's also been working. He's worked at 3 startups as a product manager, and he has a master's in entrepreneurship. So all that to say, we've noticed a couple of problems that startups have. Sorry, my voice is echoing. I'll just continue. So we've noticed that startups, they struggle with a lack of structure, guidance, and tools and resources that are native to startups. So currently, they have no choice but to patch together general purpose tools, work without a clear roadmap, and to make decisions in isolation, which is leading to wasted effort and capital, burnout, and early death of high potential ideas. Currently, the solutions that are out there are either difficult to access, like incubators that are very competitive, or tools that are generic, like Notion and Monday.com. So in comes our solution, which is SyncFounder. This is the first fully integrated AI-guided founder operating system, which provides startups with a clear roadmap, structure, and startup native resources that are required to prevent wasted effort and burnout and to reduce failure. Some of the features that we have are a customizable startup journey roadmap, reminders and nudges to keep them moving forward, AI-powered guidance that is very context-aware of their specific company and what's going on within, and tools and resources that you would find, such as like Planner, that you would find on other platforms as well. Our primary target market is early-stage startups and founders. And as a secondary market, we'll target incubators and startup support programs. And in the future, we hope to onboard mentors, investors, and freelancers. Globally, there are 50 million startups, and in the UAE, there are over 5,000. And this is growing at a rate of over 30% per year. Our business model is to have a subscription service where we would charge $12 per month, and that would give us about around $500,000 in revenue per year. Currently, we've done some problem validation by speaking to people in the ecosystem. We've pre-launched, and we're currently validating our idea by speaking to startups. And with the support of this competition, we hope to complete the MVP and go to market to our startups. Yeah, I think I'll just end it here. Thank you so much for listening. And you can follow us on social media to get to know more.
Thank you very much, Mewish, for your wonderful story. So maybe Robert, first thoughts. Sorry, of course.
Feedback first.
Questions first.
Yeah.
Yes, for everybody. What did the pitch communicate well about the user's needs? Why this problem matters and why this problem matters? So who is being addressed? And I think there were multiple stakeholders actually here, which was interesting. No clear roadmap. Yes. Yes. Yeah, startups were the key problem owners, right? And what was the need for startups? It's a clear roadmap to go for. It's a lack of structure. Lack of structure that they have problems with. Yep, guidance, and guidance on what? Are there things that especially are interesting for guidance? I think network, right, is always important when you are starting up. You want to talk to as many people as possible. Guide on growth, yeah, for sure, for sure. Mentoring, yeah, mentoring is key, and I think maybe we talked about that, right? So that's a well-addressed problem. Strategic direction, yeah, for sure. If you have specialists in the network, then they can really help you. Okay, thank you very much for your great feedback. So we have one more question where the audience can reply on what suggestions can you give to make the solution more unique, or its uniqueness more evident. So what can the solution, what can the team do to make the solution more unique? So maybe what can be done maybe in launching, or what can be done maybe in linking to others?
How can they differentiate?
How can they differentiate? Yes. Yeah, thank you. Very nice. Specified targeted audience. So you have, of course, startups in certain spaces that you can focus upon. People really need mentoring sessions. Yeah, view the MVP or prototype. Yes. Different languages. Yeah, very interesting. Nice. Okay, great. Thank you very much for your feedback. So, Robert.
Okay, firstly, Marish, I thought your cadence, your pace was excellent. You didn't seem rushed. You paused at certain key moments, and that pausing is really good. Like, even though it may feel like you should be going faster and faster, the fact that you paused showed that you were collected, that you were confident in the way you were presenting, and that your message was going to come across well, and it did. So really well done for obviously we can't comment on your appearance, but you know, a general comment.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, and then just, yeah, in terms of the solution, I think we saw some of that feedback there. It sounds like you've understood your market in terms of the numbers. You've got some target revenue that you're looking for, working backwards now, and your ask was pretty clear in what you're trying to do and why. You know, I mean, I think talk about the benefit, talk about in that moment, you know, when you do the ask, talk about the impact it's going to have. And I actually like the strategic positioning of this solution. It's in an impact space, in a job creation space. So you can talk about how this could help with job creation, and you know, obviously being able to support startups. You know, you talk about burnout and things like that, but it also talks about, you know, helping grow impact into the market and growth. And so I think, you know, they might be interested in that. Tim, you want to add something?
Yeah, maybe one thing I want to add, because there are, of course, many organizations and services that are focusing on startups. So I think, you know, how do you differentiate between these other services that focus on startup? Because there are lots of organizations that dive on startups. So I can imagine that you have to be very clear in your story why they would come to you and not to all these other organizations. So what differentiates you really from others in that?
Yes, and to build on that, thanks, Tim. You know, the channels. I mean, I think you spoke in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So I thought you've thought through the structure, but like, who would you partner and what channels would you use to access the startups? Why wouldn't they go for Monday.com or these other platforms? So how will you reach them? And I think it's, through startup communities and things. So I would, think about how you reach them. And maybe that means that going through current accelerators and incubators is maybe a better way to start. I don't know, but just think about how you're going to reach the market and present that in a clear and concise way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your audience as well. Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Very good luck.
Okay,
Yep.
the next person or team is Amr Ahmed Hashem. And again, I hope I pronounced your name right, and apologies beforehand already. Amr, are you there? Amr Ahmed or Ahmed Hashem? Okay. You can still come along, and otherwise we pick another one, and the other one will be... And the names are picked randomly, so no worries. Which one is it? And we have Musa Karala. Musa, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, very good.
Hope you are seeing me.
Yeah,
I'm visible.
we can see you. So if you are ready, we are ready. And then time can start ticking.
Go.
Okay.
You can go. Musa?
It looks like he's frozen.
Yeah.
Am I freezing? Hello?
Yeah,
now you're fine.
Yeah, now you're good.
Hello?
Please start again, Musa.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Musa, you're freezing again, I'm afraid. Let's one more time see whether he comes back. And otherwise we have to pick somebody else, I'm afraid. Musa?
Hello?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Try again, Musa, please. No, Tim, I think it keeps freezing. We need to move on.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Musa, but you keep freezing. Your connectivity must be bad.
Okay, so we're looking for volunteers. So if you are ready to do a pitch,
Mohammed, I see Mohammed's put his hand up. Shall we try Mohammed?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mohammed, you can come on.
Yes, sure, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me the cam.
Okay, Mohammed, we're ready for you.
Mohammed, we can see you now, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Okay, let me start. Qissatul Sibrania is a global team across Germany, the UAE, and Pakistan, transforming the world's most rigorous cybersecurity standard into a language anyone can learn. Cybersecurity has a gold standard, the ISC2 framework, but it is delivered in dense, compliance-heavy formats that disengage students, employees, government trainees, and the standard is strong. The delivery is not. We shift from the word-driven, one-size-fits-all content to stakeholder-driven learning pathways. Instead of static definitions, we offer dynamic stories tailored for students, employees, and executives, and national trainees. By changing the lens, not the standard, we turn cybersecurity from the technical maze into an accessible learning journey across schools, enterprises, and government institutions. We translate the ISC2 framework into age-appropriate, role-specific narratives, from a 12-year-old student to a corporate CEO or a public sector officer. Everyone can learn the same gold standard through the stories designed for them. At the core is the dynamic knowledge graph, which converts abstract compliance language into an attractive scenario-based experiences, usable in classrooms, corporates, research centers, and national cyber academies. We bridge the gap between the complex standards and everyday learning, guiding students, professionals, government trainees towards the global recognized certifications with clarity and engagement. We combine the gold standard with visual storytelling, so every school, workplace, government program can teach cybersecurity in a way people actually absorb. Revenue comes from the student subscriptions, corporate training licenses, government academy partnerships, premium certifications, prep modules, and we are the first platform to convert global cybersecurity standards into an adaptive, narrative-driven learning tailored for universities, enterprises, and public sector institutes. A global shortage of over 3.5 million cybersecurity professionals drive huge demands across academia, industry, and government workforce programs. Our globally dispersed teams blend cybersecurity research, AI engineering, and educational storytelling. Leaders such as Qissatul Sibrania anchors our capability to translate complex standards into an intuitive learning journey. We seek investments to expand our AI capabilities, scale partnerships, accelerate global adoptions. Join us in rewriting cybersecurity education so every leader can access the gold standard through an engaging and universal narrative.
Thank you. Big story.
Well
on
done.
cybersecurity. Great. Let's ask the people in the Zoom call a few questions to give you some feedback and help. So first question could be, what part of the concept felt most feasible or realistic to build? So interesting question, right? For pitches is how feasible is it to build it so that in this case judges understand, you know, how possible the service is to create learning modules. Yes, indeed. These seem feasible, right? I think it's very much also in the training space. So from a feasibility perspective, that should not be too complicated. Maybe to reach the learning experience through mobile, that might be something to think about. Through storytelling, which is great, of course, especially I can imagine in this space. Simplified, which is key, because I can imagine, well, I'm not into cybersecurity, but I can imagine that for a lot of people it's hard stuff to learn. Mind mapping. Simplification. Yeah, the simplification, of course, is key here. So thank you very much. Next question. How clearly did the team show what makes their idea different? So how different is it from other sort of learning providers in providing learning in cybersecurity? I think a lot of elements already passed by, but it can be interesting to too much technical words. Yeah, so you reduce the technical words, right? Visual learning, yeah, indeed, very good. Yeah, I think, and that's one of the questions I would say, how it works through mobile, because this is a mobile app, of course, competition. Dynamic visual learning, yes, combined with the storytelling and the scenario making. Too much technical words through stakeholder need. Stakeholder need, yes. So you have different stakeholders with different needs here. I also wonder how much these stakeholders need to understand this cybersecurity stuff. Too much technical words, mind mapping, knowledge, dynamic visual learning. Okay. Thank you very much for your feedback. Thank you very much for your feedback. And for me to share with you some feedback, I think maybe for there are many people that are interested in cybersecurity, of course, but there are also many people that for whom it is very important, cybersecurity, but that might find it not a topic that they want to dive into. And also listening to your story, it should be, again, you know, and we keep on iterating that, sort of what is the problem and which stakeholders are you especially focusing upon? I can imagine that if you focus upon you know, developers, they might have less of a problem with the way it is provided now. But if you provide it for people that need to understand cybersecurity maybe on a higher level, that this way of learning and a new way of learning, which is, I think, in many learning situations, a great idea. So I think that's a great direction to go. But it's very important that if you mention the different stakeholders, that you also understand the exact needs. So leaders might have a different need with regard to cybersecurity than people that are actual developers. So you should really try to maybe distinguish a little bit more between these different stakeholders and what you will help them with, because you can, of course, develop different trainings, and then also differentiate in the number of people you mentioned. You mentioned 3.5 million cybersecurity people, so that you can differentiate there a bit more, so that it's also clear for the people listening to your story where you exactly focus upon and how you want to deal with these people. So that may be from a content, back maybe to the presentation style. Also here again, you know, practice on the rhythm that you use, and be careful, especially maybe in your pitch, that you don't use a lot of maybe jargon or non sort of spoken words in your story. Because sometimes it feels a bit like a lot of words, one after the other, without having a real story inside. But thank you very much for sharing. All the good luck. Maybe Robert, you still have maybe something to add?
Yes, I'll just try and add something briefly, Mohammed. I think it's definitely the need of the hour. I saw the comment there. Cybersecurity is obviously, with AI and digital, a critical need in the market. I think what we need to know is how you're going to reach that market. So when the judges will be looking for your strategy on how you're going to bring this into and build customers. Is it a B2B solution? Are you going into companies with IT departments and training people there? Or are you going to sell it to universities? What are the channels? How are you going to bring this app, learning app, into the world so that people know about it as well? So I think think about how you're going to access the market. I think it's a real need, but how you're going to access it, how you're going to keep customers. And then, you know, do they get a diploma? What do they get at the end? How do they, if they're individuals, how do they, you know, will your institution have it? Will it be certified or something like that, so that you have a certified practitioner? I think about those things. But otherwise, I think you are onto something. Good luck.
For sure. Thank you. Good luck, Mohammed. Thank you very much. Okay, we go to the next pitch, and I'm just following the hands up that I see in my screen. So Omar is on the top of the list. Omar Moheb, please.
Yes.
Please open your camera if possible.
Yeah.
And if you are ready.
Omar, are you ready?
Okay, Omar, we cannot hear or see you. Let's then.
I can open the camera.
Yeah.
Yes, please open your camera, Omar.
I can't open now.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Just go ahead then.
Exactly.
Okay. Doctors treat sickness, but who helps you raise a kid? I'm Omar, and this is Sakina. Is the first AI monitor detected to holistic journey of rising intelligent and healthy child. Meet Sarah. Her son Ali just turned 6 months old. She knows she's need to start solid food, but she's terrifying. What exactly does she start? Which vegetables is safe and which is he shocked? What if he shocked? She checks Google and finds shocks. Sarah isn't just confused. She's paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes that could hurt Ali's health. Okay, she will enter Sakina. Sarah doesn't even have to ask because Sakina acts as a true mentor. It sends proactive nudes like Sarah, Ali is 6 months today. Let's start with mashed carrots. But here is the magic: smart memory. Sakina adds, wait, remember, Ali has a family history of eczema. Let's avoid strawberries for now. The mentor then closes the loop. To make it easier, here is the best safety spoon for beginners available in our marketplace. And if Sarah ever sees a reaction, one tip connects to our 24/7 teleclinic. We turn a scary milestone into a safe, guided plan. This isn't just about Sarah. The demand is massive. We are targeting a dual engine market. The volume, Egypt sees 3 million new births every day, and the value, the UAE has one of the highest spend or child rates globally. We are positioning Sakina to capture multi-billion-dollar gap that traditional health apps are missing. We rise the mentorship through 3 powerful streams: subscription, monthly fee for the app mentor, marketplace commission on recommended product like that spoon, service fees for premium teleclinic access. We don't just solve the problem, we create complete ecosystem. We are looking for partners to help us scale. Every mother deserves a village. With Sakina, we built the village digitally. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Omar.
Hey, well done. Well done, Omar.
Wonderful story. Nice storyline also. Okay, let's have some peer review from the people in the Zoom call. What did you understand about when and why the user needs this app? So when is a user in need of this app? At what moment? And the app was, of course, the parent with the just born child. Yes. Yes, and what with kids? At what moment? First, food for babies, exactly. Exactly. Starting eating. And what was the problem of the parent? What was the problem of the parent? So what's the need? As a baby, 6 months, yes. Starting eating, kids, parents feeding, first food for babies, kids, yes. Of course, as a parent, you want to be 100% sure that you do good, right? So you need trust. You need trust. But here we have already quite some interesting elements on the board. History of diagnosis, that's an interesting one, so that you have good information on that, so you can read it. Starting eating, yes. When the first eating starts. So what do you provide your child? Okay, next question. Next question. What opportunities do you see to better communicate their competitive advantage? So there might be, many platforms around that talk about raising kids and helping helping parents in the first months and years of a kid. So how can the solution of Mohammed of Omar, I should say, right? Sorry. Create a
Omar,
matrix
yes.
to visualize. Yes, so visualization is key. You feel nice. Always very good to use a lot of visuals. People find it difficult to read, right? Yeah. So there's a question about USP. So in your pitch, it is not clear apparently very much what the exact USP is, or something to think about. Anything else? Anything else? To better communicate their competitive advantage, what opportunities do you see? The secret sauce, yes. What's the secret sauce? That's of course the gold that's in the wonderful solution here for parents, right? Okay, let's do some talking also, Robert, about this wonderful new app.
Okay, I think it's an important problem, helping parents. I think that's you've identified that very clearly. I think one point that came up for me while you were talking was, how do you avoid misdiagnosis, testing for allergies and things like that. So I just think, be clear that there's a certain roadmap that in terms of making recommendations that you would have to be careful of.
How can you trust the information, right? Because there's so much information around. Why is your information? Why can they trust you in following the suggestions put in your app? I think that's key also.
Yeah, and how do you avoid potential liability if something goes wrong? So I just think be clear on that any health history and stuff is properly diagnosed, etc., etc. And then I think just in terms of your presentation, your speed was quite good. Once again, you just want to mix it up a little bit. But other than that, I thought that was good. How are you going to reach your market? As we keep saying, be clear on how you're going to find people. How do you reach them? How are you going to market them? What are the channels? And what does that convert to, in terms of your first obtainable market? Who will you target in the first 3 months once your app is ready? How will you reach those people? And how will you keep them engaged on your app? And also maybe subscription fees.
Yeah. And also to add to the service of mentoring, also for mentors, of course, I think it's key to find a network that people can trust. So also for the mentors, find a network of people or a community that are trustworthy people to listen to with respect to bringing up young kids. But I think it's a great market to dive into. Wonderful idea. Dry run your presentation a couple of times to make it a bit more fluent, and then you should be good. Thank you very much.
And what will the ecosystem look like? I think one more point that, you mentioned a complete ecosystem, and that probably deals with some of the concerns I raised, but maybe make that clearer, that this is an ecosystem and will obviously then be able to support parents without those risks that I spoke about.
Indeed. And I see, so we go to the next pitch, and maybe the last one, to be very honest. And Musa, I see that you're alive and kicking again. So I hope the connection is good now. And I would like to give you another go at it, because we asked you before and the connection was bad, but now the connection seems to be good. Are you ready?
Go.
Yes.
Time is running.
Great. Hello. Have you ever faced a situation where you can't pay a tip because you don't have cash? Or you wonder if the processed tip in the apps are reaching the real workers? Today, I'm here to present Ikram, the digital tipping platform for everyone. I'm Musa Khairallah. I'm an entrepreneur with over 20 years experience in scaling up and strategy planning and execution. How Ikram works, easy. You just scan a QR, you put the amount that you would like to tip, and you push the payment from your digital wallet. Today, the challenge in the market in UAE, we are facing a decline in music cash by 20%. And there is more than 3 million service workers who are eligible for tipping. And due to this gap, and there is no universal solution, Ikram is come. Ikram is an instant and contactless tipping solution. Why we are winning? Because we are universal, there's a fair distribution, and we are transparent. And in addition to the analytics that provided to our business owners, how this Ikram comes. As a previously, during my 18 years old, I was a newspaper and magazine distributor. And during the distribution journey, I was getting tips, sometimes money, sometimes as coupons, or very hot meals, which was nicely. And today, after 20 years, I remember how it feels that when you want to pay a tip and you don't have cash, and there is a loss income happens to the service provider or those workers. And in order to pay it forward back to the community, I came up with the solution Ikram. How our revenue model? Our revenue model based on a hybrid system. We are engaging with the B2B subscriptions and C2C commissions. And we are anticipating a revenue in the first year reach up to 4 million AED. How we will reach the market through different campaigns and social media and engaging with the high group. Our market position will be furthermore than other competitors, which they have a closed and limited ecosystems. Ikram will be universal for everyone at any time. Please vote for us and let's make this a real solution for all service workers. Thank you.
Nice. Very good, Musa. Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And indeed, an interesting problem. Let's first ask the participants in the Zoom call about Musa's story. What did the team clarify about the core problem and the user? So who is the user actually? Who's the user? And when does the problem occur? Everyone is a user. So everyone wants to tip once in a while, right? Yes. And when does the problem occur? When does the problem occur? What moments? When he doesn't have cash, yes. When no cash? When no cash? Liquidity issue, yes, also. Nice. Very good. Very good. I think also on the other hand, on the receiving end of the tip, it's interesting to understand, right? So the receiving end of the tip. Okay, next question. Next question. What could help communicate their edge more clearly? So what could help Musa in communicating their competitive advantage more clearly? Any ideas about the story of Musa and how their competitive edge could be communicated more clearly? Because I think there might be also some other solution, of course, in the market that's and direct credit. Yes. Direct credit. Interesting. Thank you very much for your input. Any other things? What's the edge here? What's the edge here compared to other solutions? Are there other solutions around for this? Do other people know other solutions that are around?
No other solution. It's the first solution in the worldwide. a universal tipping
Very,
application.
very good. But this problem can also be solved in other ways, right? So that might not be a fluent solution, but okay. Well, thank you for your feedback, and Musa, thank you very much for your wonderful story. I think the most interesting thing maybe also here is I like, of course, the way you present. I think your articulation and your speed is good. I actually like it, to be honest, that you start with sort of giving an idea what problem you're tackling, and after that quickly introducing your team. I think if you want to grab the attention of the audience, then maybe that's the thing that grabs the attention of the audience, right? The problem that you are solving. How do you know? That would be maybe a question. How do you know that how much people have want to spend on a solution like this? So how to show the judges and the audience that people are open to spend money on a solution to do tipping, because tipping is already maybe on top of things, and that differs, of course, per culture. But how much would people like to spend on this? It might be interesting to validate that and to test that, so that for the judges, you have some evidence on how important the problem is for people to get it solved. And I understand that the market potentially is huge. Of course, you have B2B and C2C markets, so it's a very interesting market. I think it differs also in different cultures, because in some cultures I know that cash still is an interesting thing to work with, but in many cultures I think digital is replacing cash very, very quickly, or already has replaced cash. So I think a great solution. And as I said, try to get a better understanding of what people want to pay for your solution, and be clear what your ask is. So what your next step is in the process of creating this solution and launching it to the market. But thank you very much. Robert, anything to add?
Yeah, Musa, I'm gonna be frank. It took me a while to understand, and what I would suggest is that you explain a short user journey of how they use it and how it would then integrate, I don't know, into their banking app or something like that. What would be the full journey? If you could explain that in some way or show a visual of that, I think it would help your presentation a lot, because I struggled initially to understand. And then obviously, what's the status of your app at the moment? Is it, how far are you down the line? Is it developed? And just make that very clear. And then what your ask will be for, so that's clear that the ask will help you do this, and that, and take your app into the next level. So just those two things, I think, for me, and then I think you're good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and of course, for everybody, in the video that you will hand in this competition, there is an important element in the video, which is the demo, and the demo of the prototype that you have. So you can take that as a moment to share the actual solution. So I'm doubting if we do another one, but I think it's fun. So we're a bit short in time, so this one may be a bit shorter, not in the time that you can present, but the feedback. So I go to the top of my list. It's Mariam. I see here Mariam, and
hello,
Mariam Mansour. Yes. So we are short in time. So if you're ready, we are ready. Let's go.
Yes, I am ready. Let's go. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Mariam, and I'm a senior student studying web and app development at Zayed University. So, as a student who is almost graduating, if there is one thing every university student has in common, It's that moment when a course hits you like a brick wall. You're sitting there staring at your notes thinking, I swear I've never seen this in my life. So what do? We basically panic. We check WhatsApp groups. We message 10 people. Do you know anyone who passed this course? Sometimes we get lucky, and most of the time we don't. So I think that shared frustration that I figured with being very much social in my university and meeting a lot of people, I think this frustration give me the inspiration to create this app. So my app is called UniMentor. It's a tutoring platform built by students, which I am, for students. So instead of random tutors who guess your syllabus of what course you're studying, my app connects you with people who actually took your exact course. Might be same professors, same assignments, same exams, and those who got an A and A plus. So these tutors are verified through university email, transcripts, ID checks, and ratings. So you are learning from someone who actually knows what they are doing. And it's not just for struggling students. A lot of us have subjects we are genuinely good at, but no place to offer like tutoring or offer this knowledge professionally. So my app lets skilled students earn money, build experience, definitely help others without feeling lost and overwhelmed. So I'm starting my project at Zayed University because it's my community and I understand the courses and I understand the struggle and the demand. So once I prove the model here, I definitely would love to expand this app to all UAE universities. So this app will turn our everyday student experience into something better. A community where learning becomes very much easier and support becomes accessible. And of course, everyone gets an A and we achieve our goal. So yeah, I believe this app will wish that we had this before and we really needed the help and now we are working on building it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mariam.
Well done, Mariam.
We will, just as a matter of time, because we also respect the end time of the session, we'll go immediately into some feedback. Robert.
Yeah. So Mariam, I think it's a good need. Obviously, there are lots of educational solutions out there. What I like about your solution is that you're saying it's by students for students, and that you've got some sort of a validation model to ensure that the people who you try and match up, from a training perspective, are reliable sources. And you kind of spoke about guaranteeing an A. I think the important, be careful for making empty promises. Obviously, it needs to come with work. Just because you listen to someone doesn't mean you're going to get the job done. You've got to be able to write the exam. And so I think you need to be clear on the mechanism on how the students will actually get the knowledge needed. I think it's one thing matching people up, but I think maybe you could explain a little bit more the mechanism of the support material, going through past papers, how that process will be structured to help you guarantee a good mark. I think, and then obviously you said you're going to start in your university and then expand. So I think that sounded clear. Maybe just be more clear on the articulation of the size of the market, how you're going to generate revenue, what you're going to charge, and what's in it for the trainers, how the trainers going to be paid, their fees. Because will these trainers just come in for free, or what's the costing model behind this whole thing? So yeah, I mean, Tim and I spoke a lot about business models. You need to understand who your partners are, what the costs will be, how that will be delivered, and then obviously how you will gain revenue and eventually become profitable. But obviously, there's been an example of an app out there in the world, a small app called Facebook that started at a university. So probably you're in the good space, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Maybe to add to that, Robert, I think also in students before they go to university, when they do their exams and stuff, that's often a high stress moment, and especially in my sort of space, I see a lot of students doing all kinds of extras and paying quite actually considerable numbers of money to get better prepared for these exams to go to university. So that might also be a market which is very interesting. So high school, different grades, and also parents have often a lot to say about this, or they're also getting nervous by their kids being nervous. So also take the parents into consideration and maybe think about some services that parents could also benefit from in guiding their children through high school. But I think it's a very interesting and good idea. Be indeed, as Robert said, more explicit where you are at the moment and what you need to do your next steps. So, but good luck anyway.
Of course, thank you. I actually thought of all of these aspects, but I didn't want to share too much. But yeah, you guys, of course, your feedback really does matter, and I will make sure that on my real page, I do mention all of these.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing it, and well done for taking the step.
Yes. So it is 4 minutes to the hour, so we unfortunately have to wrap up. I still see a few hands raised. So please use the mentoring sessions to do a similar thing with your mentors. And I think Carmen can also say something about that. And I will share screen, Carmen, so that you can.
I'm here, team. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time, feedback, and insight. Thank you very much, team and Robert. I'm sure that the participants enjoy a lot, the same as I did, to be honest, and your insights are very useful for all of them to prepare and compelling submissions. So as you very well pointed, please practice is the key. So now take notes and practice and redefine your pitch and improve, because Tim and Robert today, they share a very actionable feedback. So those who pitch, well done. So now you have homework to improve your pitch. And for those who didn't, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for sharing your feedback. Thanks a lot. So just as a next steps, before you wrap up everything, Tim, because I can see that you have a couple of slides here. Please don't miss next week workshop. Visual Mastery and Persuasive Pitch is a key workshop that we encourage all the participants to attend. It will be a session where the facilitators, the team, will help you to prepare a compelling submission. We will talk about the pitch deck. We will talk about how to do the walk through the prototype. We will give you some tips of how to record the video. So please don't miss this key session. And for those who didn't register yet, I'm just sharing on the chat. So everybody look at the chat. Everybody press click on the link that I just shared, and everybody has to register.
Very
so
good.
No excuse.
Maybe one promotional thing to add. I think there will be a very interesting help from AI tools that will be shared. So actually, in the recent years we learned a lot from that. It helped us tremendously in our little business. So indeed, don't miss this next session.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Exactly. So we will be using AI to accelerate and help you to create a compelling submission. So that is next Wednesday, 3 to 5 p.m. Dubai time. So tomorrow, here you have also another link to save. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., we will have our weekly check-in call. Is the opportunity for you to ask questions regarding the competition. Okay, so if there is any question that you have regarding the competition, or you just joined the competition and you still not clear about some things, that is the moment to join and to ask your question regarding competition. Tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m., tomorrow, Thursday, Dubai time. So that's it from our side. I'm looking forward to see you all, team. Robert, thanks again. It was very, very nice to hear your feedback, and I'm sure that it was wonderful insights for.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Until next time, happy learning.